guys, Kyle here with MGP Caliper Covers, and today we're going to be showing you how to install covers on a 2024 Honda Civic. Let's get to it. Very first thing, jack your car up. Lean under here, find your pinch point right there, and jack her up. Easy. Take you half an hour to an hour. The longest thing normally is getting the wheels off. Now we're going to take the wheel off. Open your box, and in your box you're going to have 4 sets of covers, 2 for the front, 2 for the rear. In this case we're starting with the front, so here I have my front cover. They're normally the larger one, so that's how you're going to tell. If not, you can look on the back side and there should be a stamping that will have the part number and an F or an R to tell you front or rear. Might not be able to see on camera, but it's down there. Now you also have a bag of clips. They'll be labeled front and rear, so the fronts go with the fronts. Here's my clips right here. CA17s for this one, and you'll have a couple of nuts to put on the studs. So all you need is whatever size lug nut to take your wheels off, and then you'll need a 3/8 wrench to tighten these nuts down. So in this case, the first step you're gonna have is to hold your cover up to your caliper, sort of eyeball it center. Now I'm gonna start with the top. You take this clip, you're going to slide it in between the rotor and the caliper bracket right here. So it'll slide in there. You want to get in the slot in between this stud and push it all the way down as far as you can, in there as good as you can. Now you can set that there for a second, grab your second clip. So push that over, I'll slide that in, and push them up, make sure they're both in there, both snug. So right here we have a feeler gauge. Now what this is going to do is tell you if you have clearance between the clip and the rotor. Come around this side, you see right here, this is a gap that you have between the clip now and the rotor. You're going to take this feeler gauge and shove it in there. Make sure that the clip and rotor are not contacting. You shouldn't feel any drag on this, and that's just telling you that there's clearance between the two. Get them started, the top and the bottom. So I'm going to try and keep that clip pretty as straight as it was when I had it on there. I'm going to snug them down finger tight basically. Now this one, when I tighten it, it's going to want to turn that way. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to try and keep it straight as I tighten it. And there you go. So now once you've got your cover on, you're just going to throw your wheel back on, drop the car, tighten your lugs up, and then we're going to go and do the back. Process is going to be pretty much the same, and we're going to start by jacking the car up. Now when you're jacking your car up, you want to make sure that whatever side you're jacking up, the opposite one, you've chalked the wheel. In this case, I have a 2x4 up here. Just something there in case something moves, your wheel's there to stop it. Now we're starting on the rears. Rears have the same parts list as the front pretty much. You got your cover. On the back you'll see the part number and a letter, F or R. This is R telling you that it's the rear. We've got our clips. In this case we have SA19s, and then we have our 2 nuts to go on those studs and our feeler gauge again. The last one on the fronts, we held the cover up first and then we slid our clips over top. Now this is the exact opposite of that. We're going to take our clips first and we're going to slide them onto the bracket right here. Same idea as the front clips. It's going to go in between the rotor and the bracket. I'm going to come up underneath there, push it up into place, center it on the rotor more or less, and push it as far forward as it'll go. Same thing on the top. Push it into place. Make sure it's all the way up there. Grab your feeler gauge again and run it right underneath. Just the same way we did the fronts, just to check that you got clearance there. Now in this case we have the clips on here already, and we have the slots on our cover itself. Now these slots are punched in such a way that the studs are going to grab outside to outside on these holes, and that's going to give us some tension to keep this cover in place. We want that. So in this case you see here I've hooked it on the top, right? And now I look down at the bottom. I'm just barely touching that stud. I'm not quite on there. In that case you're going to take the cover off. You're going to pull these tabs out just a little bit. Doesn't take much, just a couple of squeezes like that. And then you're going to set it back on the top one, come down. Okay, now I'm a lot closer, right? Once I get to about this point, what I'm going to do is push the clip and pull the cover down. You're just gonna wiggle it into place. And right there, it snaps over the edge. And there you go. Now you're gonna put your nuts on. That's all she wrote. Again, just snug these down. Just about finger tight. And there we go. Alright, so that was showing you guys how to install MGP caliper covers on a 2024 Honda Civic. So you're going to do exactly what I just showed you for the front and the rear, but now guess what? You're going to do it on the other side too. Don't forget that part, pretty important. You know, these covers make a great addition to your car. You take a look down here, we've got the blue matching the blue. Looks great, I think at least, but that's my car, so I'm a little particular about it. But if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, go ahead and reach out to us or leave it in the comments below.